Hello everyone and welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. Welcome one and all, whether you are brand new or returning. Quick shout out, we have a brand new episode of the podcast, the Unicorn Light Podcast. This one is absolutely brilliant, this episode. If you are feeling any way stagnant, or your new beginning isn't happening, or your manifestations aren't happening as quickly as you would like, check out this episode 15. I will link it down below. It goes through all of the reasons why, what you can do. There's nothing woo-woo about it, just very practical advice to get you back on track and to get you back into your power so you can have that magical life that you want. Again, that is number 15, episode 15 of the Unicorn Light Podcast down below. Check it out if you want. All right, here we go. Today we are getting magical messages from your inner babies, from your inner child. So I thought today what we would do is we have some mermaid messages to start off with. And this is pile 1, 2, and 3. So your first mermaid message for pile 1 is: seeing the surface of the ocean is not the same as diving deep to see the coral. And travel is your word. So if your inner child is thinking that travel is the pile that they want, then that's your pile. And then the second pile is recharge. There's nothing like a walk on the beach to soothe your soul. Recharge. So if your inner child is linking in with the energy of pile 2, then that is your pile. And then pile 3 is optimism. After each rainstorm, there will be clear skies. So again, if your beautiful inner child, your beautiful inner baby is being pulled to pile 3, then this is yours. Let's get right into your readings. Beautiful. We'll put aside pile 2 and pile 3. So if you chose pile 1 and travel, focus, then this is your reading. We're going to start off with Oracle and move on to Tarot. So let's see what messages from your inner babies, your inner child, what magical messages they have for you today. Your first one is King of the Unicorns. You are blessed with majesty, vision, and power. That's beautiful to start off with. Pile 1, love that. And then you have Forest Frolic Maiden. I acknowledge my inner child and open my heart to the joy she brings. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a nice little confirmation there. And then you have Pride, number 19. And then you have the Cosmic Emerald. Create perfect health, access divine abundance. Beautiful. So it seems to be, pile 1, that there's an energy of getting out of where you are and moving on to something a little bit different, something that you don't know the energy of, which is a wonderful thing to do. So you are ready for, like in the past, you've definitely had some new beginnings and you've been moving forward, but there's always, or there has been before, just an element of the old that comes with you. So you are ready to put yourself out there in beautiful ways that are brand new. Now, of course, these ways can be a little bit intimidating, obviously, because they are completely brand new. But with the energy of the inner child and integrating them, your messages, the magical messages from your inner child, is that they have the way. So there is an energy with you that can be very, very practical when it comes to, you're very good at moving forward. You're very good at this sort of divine action, this divine masculine action, you know, action oriented. I want this, I need to do X, Y, and Z in order to get there. All of that is absolutely wonderful, but there's a little bit of missing of the whimsy, a little bit of, you know, again, less of the attachment, more of seeing what happens. And there's just this understanding, this understated kind of energy that's, you know, if you really tap into it and see what happens, and it allows you to sort of be really open with how you are going to move forward, in what direction you're going to move forward. And again, this is not for the faint-hearted. because this is really asking you to sort of go with the flow in a way that, you know, when you're ready for something to move forward, then we tend to sort of put our stamp on it and say, I want it to happen this way or that way, or if I put this action forward, I expect this action back. I expect to see it out in the universe this way, or, you know, the external world, I want the payback. I want to see all of my efforts coming back to me. So this is outside of that scope. This is something completely different. This is whimsy. This is, you know, I know where I want to end up. I have the general energy of what I want to see in the world. Let's see what happens. And by incorporating the inner child, the sense of sort of wonder comes in. And what happens is that everything that you thought was possible suddenly expands and opens up. And of course, that beautiful energy comes in, and then you can relax a little bit more, because the other side of it is that when you're trying to figure out, that's my cat, when you're trying to figure out what happens next, of course, then, you know, you're in this position where certain things can happen. If they don't, then you get disappointed. This is like really expansive. This is really open. But at the same time, knowing that, and this is one way you can sort of trick your mind too. If the whimsical aspect doesn't really work for you, you can always click right back into that majestic, beautiful, and perfect in a way, that wanting to be perfect, of the divine masculine energy that just is very aligned and go, 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 go. You can always click back into it. So if you're thinking, I don't know if I want to do it this way, or I do, but, you know, to a certain extent, I want to pull the energy back, you can always revert back. It's always going to bring in some results, for sure. This is just a time for you to relax into this energy and allowing things to happen, this sort of cosmic energy of allowing things to happen. So again, integrating your inner child and letting them sort of lead the way is a way that you are at this precipice now where you're ready to move forward and trying to figure out how to move forward and what energy to bring into sort of your day, and how to sort of circulate your energy. You're wanting to do things a little bit differently. And again, this doesn't have to be really drastic where you just stop what you're doing and just all of a sudden sort of like give up and just see what happens. This can be a little bit just more whimsy, almost like, I wonder what will happen today. Clicking into that energy of like that expansiveness to see what happens. These little synchronicities will start coming in, and that's when you'll realize that the magic is really very much around you at the time. And it might take you down paths that you wouldn't previously have thought that you wanted to go down, but that's going to be really interesting for you. We want to remind you that wherever you end up will be pretty much the same anyway, but this will be a magical way to get there. Whatever is for you in this world doesn't automatically disappear just because you decide to take a different path in order to get there. It will find you no matter what. But this is a chance to bring in an extra little case of whimsy and less stress, just more seeing what happens. You take more of an observational role, but like this is much more energy, much more fun, bringing in that joy. And of course, accessing that abundance and accessing, you know, that health that comes in, that beautiful peace of mind, that health in the body, feeling into your power. That's the beauty that you can come in here with if you take this path. Now we are going to get in with some beautiful tarot here. We want to remind you that you are being acknowledged, that your visions, they're not small, you know, and you were blessed with everything that you need to be able to move forward, to be able to achieve them. So sometimes when we have these big dreams, we feel as though we have to have these really big actions in order to be able to get there. And sometimes the smallest actions that we just allow in are the ones that take us much further and much quicker. So this is a way for you to sort of strike out of the old way of being and move into a much more whimsical and fun energy to move forward. So you have the Three of Discs here, the Three of Pentacles with the Cosmic Emerald, and you have the Two of Swords. So yeah, there is a decision on how to move forward. And before, it's almost like you've tried to do one thing one way and then another way. And, you know, that doesn't necessarily work for you. It's one way or the other. In the past, you could have been quite extreme and then pulled back. This is all about the medium road. And for some of you, that's not exactly the easiest path for you, but that's okay. Just bring in just a little bit of whimsy and build that connection and that momentum. You really don't have to go nuts with this. This is more about the energy of it instead of strategizing all the way through. In fact, if you stop strategizing for just a minute and just concentrate on the energy of movement. When we think about travel, the first thing that comes to mind with this vision is being on the ocean, being on a boat and just sort of bobbing around and going with the flow of the ocean. So that energy of travel, you know, rather than being really tense, am I going to miss my plane, that sort of thing. The energy of travel, of knowing that no matter what, you're going to get there. The energy, the momentum of that beautiful sea, those waves are going to bring you exactly where you need to be. So really allowing yourself to click into that energy of no matter how I approach this, I'm going to get to where I need to be. But bringing that whimsy and that real magical element with your inner child that's absolutely ready and waiting to be first class on this boat of yours, being right at the helm, showing you how it's done. This will be wonderful for you. Yeah, you've got the Prince of Wands here. You've got that passionate energy of moving forward. You know what you're doing. You're ready for this. And and you've got the King of Discs, which is interesting. You've got two kings here. So you've got this energy of I know how to do this. And of course, this energy, there's nothing wrong with it. It's the divine masculine, once it works with the divine feminine in this supportive role, is absolutely beautiful and can bring you this incredible kind of vision. It really clicks into what it is that you want to be able to do. But if it's not connected to the divine feminine, then you could be spinning your wheels sometimes, just, you know, moving forward. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that, and then expecting some kind of results that aren't coming in quite the way that you expected, and then you get a little bit down on yourself. But there is a way to renegotiate the energy of the divine masculine here, because you really do have it. With the Wands energy too, and that moving it into the passionate energy of wanting to move forward and see what the world opens up for you. Maybe not be very specific about what, you know, the elements of what you want to see as you move forward. You know how this is going to end up. You know you're going to end up where you want to be. You know you're going to achieve whatever it is. That's a given. The universe has said yes to you. So maybe take all that divine, beautiful masculine energy that you have and put it into just working with the divine feminine, working with that whimsy, taking that passion and alchemizing it and saying, you know, what is my next step? I just want to be open to it and allowing that receptivity to see what happens. You will find that all of this will be extremely beneficial for you as you move forward, and you'll have some fun along the way. And also, this is about the experiences too. You don't have to go from A to B to C to D. You can go all over the place and meet great new people and have whimsical experiences, which of course will be integrated into your consciousness and make you much more of a richer person, right, as you move forward. But there is an energy of celebration, of knowing that you are ready for something a little bit different maybe. And then maybe some of you are looking to change up your life just a little bit, but also you have a goal in mind, and you know that you're ready for it. You're ready to put into action this energy of knowing who you are. It's just a matter of how you will do it. More whimsy, more magical inclination, and really getting into your power. That's a way that you can really channel your inner divine masculine, because it's very heavy with you and it's wonderful. Channel it into this energy of knowing who you are. Again, this expansive version of you is always changing, but knowing who you are, knowing where you stand in the world, what you stand for, being really firmly in your power. Allow that beautiful divine masculine energy to ground you into that power. The more secure you are in the world, the more you are connected with Mother Nature, the more you're going to be receptive and say, let's be whimsical and see what happens. So many beautiful things and situations situations and people and energy will be open up to you. And you may find that you go off in a slightly different direction that you intended. But again, the results will be really fun and really beautiful. Just want to end with one more cards from our beautiful mermaids here, simply because we brought in the energy of the sea here, so it seems very befitting. So your card here is dance. There you go. Take inspiration from the moonlight dancing on the surface of the sea. Beautiful. Yeah, going with the flow, allowing your energy to sort of go. That's pretty much what we said earlier with the dancing, the inspiration, the moonlight, dancing on the ocean there. As you're bobbing on the ocean, you know that you're going to end up, you've got that inner compass, you're going to end up wherever you want to be. So just see your life, the immediate future, as a dance. You can go in any different direction. Interpretive is great. Doesn't matter what you look like. Have some fun. That energy of it. Bring all of that in and see where it ends up. At the very least, you're going to have a very, very good time. Pile 1. So this is the energy of your inner child. Beautiful, magical messages for you today. Sending so much love and light to each and every one of you. Do feel free to check out episode 15 of the Unicorn Light podcast. Again, if you're looking into manifesting and it's not going as fast as you think it should go, there's some beautiful tips, practical, nothing woo-woo about it. By the end of it, you'll have a very clear idea of what to do, how to bring that magic or manage that magic in your life. It would probably be very good for you, but only if you're called to it. Always listen to your intuition. All right, my darlings, and as always, there's lots of links down below, website, lots of things on the channel too, for you to be supported in this energy as we move forward in this glorious world of ours. Until we meet again, pile 1, take care. Bye-bye. Okay, my beautiful pile 2s, if you chose recharge, there's nothing like a walk on the beach to soothe your soul, then these are your magical, whimsical messages from your beautiful inner child. Let's get into your oracle, and then we will move on to tarot soon enough. Wisdom 32. Act with wisdom and people will respect you. Okay, that's your first card. Wonderful. Then we have Spirit Guides. I open my heart to my guides and trust in the wisdom they share with me. Beautiful. And then we have Adventure 55. That's wonderful. And then you have Rose Gold Cosmic Pool. Bathe in cosmic love. Soak up wisdom. So you've got wisdom here coming in. So there is a very firm energy here that came in right away. I got a pull for you, pile 2, that coming back to a real deep connection with knowing your own soul and knowing who you are, and of course self-love. But this is a new level for you, bringing in your inner child and that whimsical sort of magical inclination there, and really investing in that energy is going to bring you to that next level of that, and it's going to help you access your wisdom in sort of a brand new way. Now, with all the experience that you've been through and all the ups and downs that you've been through, it's obvious that you have a ton of experience, and the way in which you live your life is sort of you know, really push yourself out there. Not exactly push yourself out there, but you integrate yourself out into the world. But that's that can be tough for you sometimes, because you're just an old soul and this world was not really built for your soul in that way. But that's fine. You're here to build a new world, and that's what you need to do, and that's what you're doing. But of course, one needs to, or one has done, integrated a little bit into the world. So it can be very hard on your soul. When you come back out, you really need to recharge. So it's this constant motion of feeling as though you're going into a situation, doing what you need to do, and coming back out, and then recharging. And sort of protecting yourself and coming back to who you are. Now, there's nothing intrinsically wrong with how you've been working in that direction. However, there's an easier path, there's an easier way. So to really click into this beautiful cosmic kind of energy that you have constantly, and not having to be that chameleon of and it's not that you change yourself in any way when you integrate into the world. It's just the kind of energy that you feel as though this sort of energy that you can't really, there's an extra bonus energy that you have that you feel that's a little bit more of a protection in and around you. And there's just this sort of underlying sense of stress sometimes when you're out in the world, and there's an ease coming to you. There's a way to integrate your inner child at the next level now that sort of really brings in and clicks into this wisdom that you have, right? So you're one of those people that you can put in any situation and you will find, you know, the pearl of wisdom there. You will be able to, you can speak to any kind of person, no matter what background. There's no judgment there. You can, you know, even in and some of you may have put yourself in this position too, where you've had a professor or somebody at school, a teacher or something, that's really, really tough. That's really tough to get a smile out of, but somehow you'll be able to do it. Or somebody who's really grumpy or this, that, and the other. You're always able to sort of, or somebody who's really guarded, you're always able to get a smile out of them at the end. You know, this is played on your energy a little bit because it does deplete you a little bit, but you are able to do this. So you have this sense of wisdom, and you have this energy that people react to in a way, and it's this beautiful energy of feeling safe in and around you. So this is a way for you to integrate all of that, again, at a whimsical level, at a brand new level, where when you integrate yourself into the world at large, it doesn't feel so much for you. It doesn't feel as though you need to come back and recharge from it. In fact, it can charge you up in a brand new way, and you're ready to do this with everything that you've been through. This was sort of an incremental kind of moving to this part of being you in this way and being seen for who you are. This had to be small parts moving together. This is nothing that was going to be a da-da moment, like an overnight moment, because of all the experiences and everything that you've been through. You're an old soul. You had a lot of soul contracts you needed to go through. So you've had some very powerful guides working with you. And, you know, and the way in which you've been working before has been wonderful. And you've put yourself out in sense of adventure, certainly. But in the last 2 years, like, the sense of adventures, I think, has been sort of diminished somewhat. But there's been like, and it's not a stagnant period necessarily, but there's a way in which you've been rooted. You've made yourself a little bit more rooted than you were before, because you really want to work on how you are in the world and make these tangible moves forward. Because when we're rooted into our energy, when we're rooted into our life, of course, that's when you become into this more receptive mode, and you can move up the ladder of success, whatever that means to you. So for you, it was more about observing before, pulling in all these experiences and gaining all of these wisdoms that you have. And now all these wisdoms, plural, all of this wisdom that you have has been integrated. You can take that wisdom and take it up to the next level. But you're wondering how to do that. So again, bring in that whimsy, bring in and integrate that beautiful inner child that you have, right? And also really recognize everything that you've been through in order to gain this wisdom. Celebrate who you are in this moment. Celebrate the wisdom that you've gathered through all of these experiences. You know, who you are in the world is not a small thing. You've made yourself that way by being out in the world in the way that you have been. You've allowed yourself to sort of come together and then fall apart so many times, like the phoenix from the ashes, in a way that takes a great deal of courage. And in that, you've created this sense of wisdom. You've almost created this sort of play by numbers of how to be able to do it. And you'll be able to help others do that too, whether you offer it in a course, whether you offer it working one-on-one, or whether you just live your life the way that you are and encourage people just by being around you to be themselves. But the sense of adventure is coming up for you. You're ready for a sort of a brand new energy to be able to work out there. But you don't really want to work in the way that you had before, where you're just out and then coming back in. It's almost like you have two lives in a way. Your external life and then your internal life. Now, again, it's not about you being putting out a face to the world. In fact, you can be in moments out in the world, in the external world, you can be very much yourself and people sense that. So it's not a case of like putting two aspects of yourself together. It's just about allowing that preciousness of your inner child to really show a little bit more. Now, there's a whimsy and there's a beautiful part of you that you've always had, and you've integrated your inner child. You've worked with your inner child. That's not the issue here. That's not what we're saying. It's just that you've protected the inner child and allowed her to come out at certain times when you feel safe. This is a way for you to integrate full on your inner child. So the sense of whimsy and the sense of beauty, which is very firmly connected to the experiences and the wisdom that you have, and again, very grounded in your own energy, knowing who you are, creates this expansiveness that's very specific, that allows you these new adventures to move through. Now, when we say adventures, there's different ways. There's, you can have a day adventure where you've just had this incredible day where you just allowed yourself to go off in many different directions, but it also is going to it's also going to integrate into the energy of how you move in the world, because each of these days create a week, and then create a month, and then create a year. Again, different energy to pile 1, but this is about bringing in the whimsy and knowing that it's safe for you, pile 2. With all your experiences and all of your ups and downs and the light and the darkness, exploring all of that within you. And again, you know, the family bloodline, there's a lot of darkness that you had to deal with. Bringing in this whimsy and allowing this whimsy to really sit up front as you move forward with your inner child. And then again, very specifically, integrating that whimsy with this beautiful wisdom that you have brings out this energy of Mildred, Mills. Sorry, it's my cat. She was very vocal in pile 1 too. She wants to be involved in the inner child readings. So this is a way that you can sort of come full circle, but also move forward in your day-to-day life with just a little brighter, a little lighter. There's always been this sort of heaviness that you've carried, and part of it is because you have the weight of the shoulder, you know, the world on your shoulders, but also your past and everything that you've been through. This is a brand new level of integration that allows you to, not allows you, but has you working in a much more lighter, joyous, expansive kind of way. Now, again, you can click into this energy whenever you want, and you have done. This is a way of clicking into it, so it's always with you. So it's not this movement forward and then coming back to recharge. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean that at times you won't want to be on your own and do your own thing. That's not what we're saying. But this energy of being out and then needing to recharge. And for some of you, it's 3 steps back, 3 steps forwards, 2 steps backwards. And this will be like 1 step forward, another step forward, another step forward. This is a way for you to forge your beautiful life in a slightly different way, but taking the celebration of everything that you know, and again, encompassing it in this beautiful energy that you have with this whimsy and this magic, and seeing where it goes. So let's go ahead and bring in some beautiful tarot for you, and let's see what we have for you. Some extra energy. So here we're going to, this is, yeah, I want to make sure it's the right side. So you have this beautiful divine feminine energy coming in, and you've always had that. It's just, but again, this is energy that you've protected a little bit, and for some of you it could be a matter of you wanted that energy for yourself. This 10 of Swords energy, again, this energy of the hardened world and what it does to you, right? Your sensitive soul. You've got the Lovers, yeah, coming into this really firm integration between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, but coming out on the other side of that, where you're not always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know that there's comedy, there's beauty, there's humor, there's whimsy, there's love, but also everything, again, everything that you've been through is a celebration. All of your wisdom is very tangible. You can market that wisdom, and this is what you're up for doing. Everything that you've been through too, all of your experiences as you look back, this makes you a very rich person, rich with desire, and sometimes your need to want to sort of save the world and be there for everybody, it overwhelms you a little bit, and it takes away from your own personal energy. So that's the specific of going forward and then needing to come back to recharge. This is a firm integration of putting your energy first, putting the joy and the whimsy and the humor first, integrating that all, but really understanding at the crux of everything, every experience and all of the wisdom that you've gathered from this makes you this incredibly rich person. Now, when we're talking about material success, that can happen too. All of that, whether you put that into, like we said, courses, writing, whatever it is that you do, you have a wealth of information and people listen to you because of the way that you are. So And this energy is already with you. The whimsy and the magic is already with you. None of this is brand new. It's a matter of integrating up, enlightening up, right? And having this energy access to you all of the time, not feeling as though you need to protect it for a time then where you feel safe, or, you know, extra protection where you're out in the world, knowing that your guides are protecting you no matter what, because you are here to do this incredible work of being yourself. And you've really unraveled what that looks like and what that is, of being yourself, right? But now we can take away the quotes, because you really are. It's coming back to a level of authenticity that you haven't really, you've been grappling at. And you've honed in on it. You know what it looks like, but this is a way of integrating it full time. This is a very, very exciting time for you to move forward. It really allows in a sort of a new lightened up energy for you to move in any direction. And again, for you to be able to use this beautiful wisdom that you have, which is very comical sometimes. You know how to bring that darkness in with comic, with humor. So you know how to work with people. You know how to lighten the mood. You know how to be there for people. You know how to deliver information that doesn't overwhelm people, right? You know how to do this. So you would be a great teacher. You would be a great host, you know, even at Airbnb. I mean, wherever it is, you know, you'd be a great real estate agent. People will trust you to find the most perfect home for them. Anything, really. You could literally apply what you do to anything that you do. And for some of you, it's not about doing one thing or the other. You really want to do multiple different things, and you would be absolutely, you're so good at that, bringing in different energies, the same sort of baseline, but doing things in a different way. That's, you know, something that you could absolutely do. But this is a time for the integration. You're ready to bring in all these experiences and really to see yourself in this beautiful, positive way of this, just this gorgeousness of who you are. So celebrate who you are and everything you've been through now. Now, I want to finish off this reading with just one more hit from our beautiful sea, from our beautiful magical mermaids here. Stillness. In calm waters, everything becomes clear. Yeah, this is all about bringing you back to you, and all of those fragmented parts of yourself coming back in and finally coming together in this beautiful, calm, beautiful expansiveness of just wealth of knowledge, this passionate knowledge, this firm integration of the divine feminine, the divine masculine, not necessarily 50-50. A lot of you are more divine feminine, but that's beautiful, with everything that you've been through, and shining that light in the world and encouraging people to do that too. New level for you of integration. So allow it to happen on each and every level for you. Obviously, these are general readings, so this will be slightly different for each and every one of you, but new opportunities coming in for you as you integrate this new energy at a new level. So that's what we have for you. Pile 2, sending you so much love and light for each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in today. Again, episode 15 of the beautiful Unicorn Light podcast. If you have been trying to figure out how your manifestations are doing, if they're not coming in quick enough, or you feel a little bit stagnant, you want a little support of moving forward, this episode is for you. The link is down below. It's not woo-woo at all. We go through in that 1 hour exactly what you can do. You'll have a very firm understanding of how to make your life magical in a very practical way. And of course, we have many different links down below, including soul coaching down below. All of them. Check in with your intuition. If you feel like checking them out, we'd love to have you. Until we meet again, Pile 2, take care. Bye-bye. Okay, my lovely Pile 3s, last but not least, if you chose the card Optimism, after each rainstorm, there will be clear skies. And then this is your card. This is your messages from your beautiful inner child. Whimsy, magical messages. Start off with Oracle, move on to Tarot. Let's see what your messages are. So you've got birth, number 2. Be receptive to a new idea, child, or situation. Excuse me. That's your first card. Beautiful. And then we have air, elemental. Number 18, I embrace the element of air and am open to all knowledge and wisdom. Beautiful. And again, we have 96, forgiveness. And then we have your personal unicorn number 1. Bathe in pure light. Stay open to unicorn magic. All right. Beautiful, pile 3. Well, this is the energy of making different decisions about how you move forward, and more specifically for a lot of you. Of course, these are general readings, but a lot of you of whom you give your energy to, and this is to what you give your energy to. So you're being asked to really look at where your energy goes and how it gets drained. Is it worth it? Some of you will worry warts, but that's just because you want everything to be okay. You know, there's just an element of you that just, you want everybody to be okay. You want the world to be okay. And that's a beautiful sentiment, and it goes deep with you. If it's not happening, that you feel like it's not happening. You pick up on energy from your environment. You really want everybody to be happy. There's a beautiful pure light within you that's very humanitarian. So the last 2 years you might have had some ups and downs with that, trying to figure that out. But it's also set you off on a journey that probably would have started more than 2 years ago. Set you off on a journey to really differentiate between what the world wants and what you want, and how to make yourself happy in a world that doesn't necessarily put humanitarian rights first. So, but this is a way for you to come back to yourself and really understand where your energy is. You know, whom it's going to, where it's going to, and bring it back. There are times that you can feel quite drained because of the wants and the needs that you have, or you don't need the world to be okay, but the wants that you have, the sort of longing that you have in some ways, and sometimes that's been in the way of daydreaming. I want this and I want that. Now, daydream is absolutely wonderful, but your focus is coming back into focus now, and the focus needs to be you. Your focus needs to be you. This got nothing to do with the ego. This is about putting your energy first, figuring out exactly what you stand for and how you're going to move forward. It also means that, you know, being very, very careful for you as you move forward about who you give your energy to. Now, you have that sweetness to you, and boundaries you have definitely learned. It's something that for some of you, you really needed to learn. Unfortunately, because of situations that were constantly coming up for you. They were looping around. Each and every situation was slightly different, but they all had a very similar message. So after a while, you were like, all right, I get it. And you did what you needed to do to sort of break that cycle. Now, there's a couple of other cycles that are not even that integrated, but they're coming up for you, and you have the chance to completely leave them. Leave them in the dust and go off in a completely different direction, which means that it's the direction that your soul is moving in, putting your energy first. And again, you know that old saying, you cannot pour from an empty cup. This is something that you know, and this is something that in many different ways for each and every one of you, you've been actively working on. So this is not like a da-da moment for you. You've already known this, but you are at the point where there's a sort of a new birthing cycle for you, where you have the chance to be go off in different directions and take everything that you know and everything, all the wisdom that you've integrated with putting yourself first. You now feel as though you know, it's almost like you were sort of a baby lamb or a baby deer trying to figure this out. Sometimes you were like a deer caught in headlights, but now you've grounded yourself into that energy of knowing who you are just enough to be ready to move in a completely different direction. So again, all the direction should be very much with your own intuition. Now, there's been times where you've not listened to your own intuition and you've purposely sort of overrode it in order to have the experience, but you're also very aware that your intuition is extremely acute. It allows you, it's very fine-tuned. So you can walk into a room immediately and ascertain what's going on. You know, when you walk into a job situation, like you can tell from the first 10 minutes if it's going to be the right place for you. You can tell in the first 10 minutes if the school is right for you, if the course is right for you. So when it comes to, when you listen to yourself and put your energy first, you never have to double back and go, oh, I don't know why I did that. You know, sometimes you do things for the experience and you purposely put that on hold. But you know, you've gained something from that, and there is a part of your soul that wanted to learn from it. So it allowed you, for want of a better term, to go in and have that experience. But This is about you moving forward in a new way, taking everything that you've learned and taking that fine-tuned intuition with your beautiful whimsy and the magic of your inner child, like really integrating and putting your inner child first with the energy of the inner child and focusing on the energy of the inner child as you move forward. What you will find is that everything that you've been through as you've integrated, and then with the energy of putting yourself first, and just not taking on anybody else's energy. You can stand in the wind and be very fine-tuned about which direction to move in, right? Now, you have the chance to be very adventurous at this point, taking a new path. Again, whatever it is that you want to accomplish in this lifetime is going to happen. It's just a matter of how you get there. And this is very similar, a different energy to pile 1. But similar message in that way. You have the phoenix coming from the phoenix rising from the ashes, the energy that Pal 2 had too, because of all the things that you've been through. And all the things that, for some of you, purposely put yourself into. You sort of knew that you were going to crash and burn. But this is something that you needed to do. So if there's any forgiveness that needs to come in from you, forgiving yourself for what you did to yourself, because there was an energy of sort of destroying and coming back, then that's up to you. If that part of this reading feels good to you, feels like that's a message for you, then go ahead and forgive those parts of yourself, remembering in context that those beautiful ways that you've been working of destroying and coming back, it's just, they've been incredible because they've allowed you to see different aspects of yourself. And at that time, that's the only way that you could have seen different aspects of yourself, because of the way that you were living. Some of you were feeling like some parts of you were being hidden, but by destroying some parts of you that no longer needed to be there, it enabled you to access different parts of yourself that were illuminated, that were right there, but you were able to see them. So this is an incredible way that you've lived your life. And for somebody so sensitive as you, for somebody so empathic as you, incredibly empathic, like incredible gifts of alchemy. It's putting that and forging an actual physical path in the world for you that puts your needs first, is illuminating. It's absolutely brilliant. And this is a way in which that you can do this. So staying open to this receptivity for your guides. And the unicorn guide, you've got very strong unicorn guides. And of course, the receptivity of your inner child that wants to be integrated at this level now, reintegrated at this whimsy, to really allow you to have this gorgeous, the lovers, that came up I think in pile 2. This was at the bottom here of your pile. This is pure integration coming in a way that you were always working on integration, but this is a new level of integration that sort of just pops together. You don't have to destroy yourself anymore. You're not able to see parts of yourself. This path is easy for you. There's an ease to it, right? But it requires faith, it requires trust, and it requires your receptivity, which you have. And it requires your very, very fine-tuned, beautiful intuition, which sometimes you click off when you're in the world too because of your sensitivity. But it's still there. It's still there. But this is a new way for you to work with this, with your intuition. You've got the 3 of Cups coming in, which is absolutely beautiful energy. Yeah, you've got the Magician. We talked about the alchemy. I'm not surprised about that at all. The 2 of Discs and the Chariot. Yeah, there's a way forward for you. There's a beautiful new branch of living for you that's available for you, that's insanely magical moving forward. And it's all about bringing in the energy of celebration and bringing in the energy of community, of like-minded people. And that's because you're living your life the way in which you want to. You're very good at juggling what it is that you want to do. There's nothing inherently wrong with that at all. But this is about you making choices. Now, it doesn't have to be about a choice of I want this over this. It could be a choice of I'm going to choose myself over everything else right now, and stay receptive to what the next stage is. But there's an energy of you that's really shifting. Even the way that your energy sort of relates on your face, like how you dress, what you're doing, all of this is just sort of, you're changing it up a little bit. And you're also really inclined at this time to show your magic. You were very, very magical from a very young age, but you sort of hid that a little bit because you didn't, and this is past life stuff too, to whom you open yourself up to. right? But this is a movement in the right direction, without a doubt. This is like, I'm magical, deal with it, right? That's a very different energy that you had before. And because of the whimsy and the humor and the lightness of that full integration of the inner child coming in, and then staying in that receptive mode, and absolutely having that 100% like parallel line between you and your intuition, which is incredibly perceptive. Like, it's so fine-tuned, it's ridiculous. Like, you literally can never go wrong. You'd be an excellent reader too. Some of you might be excellent readers. You probably don't even need tarot to be able to do it. You can just sense things from people. But it's really what they need to hear at the time. You know, it's not necessarily how many brothers they have or sisters they are. You know, if you know that, that's wonderful. But it's this deep knowledge of what they need to hear in that moment. This is the gift that you have. Now, you've been able to do this in certain situations and help people out. But this full integration means that you're taking this energy with you at all times, and it's never going to be decreased. It's always integrated into everything that you do, which means that there's a new leveling up of power for you coming in, right? Also a new leveling up of who you want to be, and the sunshine, and moving forward the way in which you want to, but integrating your magic on a new level. And again, this is all to do with your beautiful inner child coming in, because you're missing that lightness a little bit when you integrate your child and that whimsy, but you do have this very childlike energy to you. And that in the past is something that people may have taken advantage of. So that's something that you took and protected and let that out when you felt safe. And in that way, you've got that very much in line with Pile 2. You've got that in common with Pile 2, but again, very different energy. So this is a way that you can, you know that you can protect yourself now. You're grounded into the earth. You can take your magic with you, and nobody can take that away from you. So the essence of juggling what you want to do or your next step will be different too. Because before you were always juggling in a way that, you know, you did something that you didn't really want to do in order to do something that you did want to do. This is a different level. This is doing two things that you do want to do, like juggling two things that you have put your energy behind, that you're 100% behind, not having to acclimate to the world in a way where you're like, all right, I'll do this if I can do that. So it's a new level of magic that you're bringing, and it's very, very powerful. It really brings home this understanding that you can do whatever you want whenever you want to. And again, bringing in this energy of celebration, of communication, of finding like-minded people like you. And again, having this optimism, this beautiful energy of joy, this lightness that you have, but it isn't always integrated. And for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, that optimism, as you're up there, you know, you want to enjoy all of the good things that are happening, but there's a part of you that knows that, well, it's not always going to be like this, so I don't know when the shoe's going to drop. Now, it is true, we can't always be in this high vibe, otherwise, you know, you're just a one note, right, unless you're enlightened. But you know, sometimes you've got to have those darker moments in order to have those teaching moments. We understand that. But that level of optimism can still be integrated in a way that where you know that you're going to come back to yourself a lot quicker. And you can enjoy the moment of, you know, those moments of optimism to their fullest degree, instead of going, well, I know this is going to last too long, because you know that another one is just on the next horizon. So again, it's a new way of integrating your magic in a new way, but in a much more powerful way. And it's cemented into the world. And it's, you know, this reading is very much about the insular, how you react to the world, and how you bring in all of your confidence and your magic. But again, it's going to be very directly connected to everything that you see, all the new opportunities coming in for you in the external. You'll be able to see it displayed in the external too. It's very much connected to both, because of course we create our own realities. I want to get you one more whimsical card from our beautiful mermaids here. And your last card is Patience. The tide will come in when it's ready. Now this is because of the way that you've been working. There could have been a little bit of impatience where, you know, you're incrementally moving forward, but you know, you see the end results and things aren't coming in quick enough for you. There is movement. And again, this integration at this new level will bring in so much more as you move forward. But again, stay in that patience, stay in that receptive mode, and stay in that mode of knowing that everything that you've asked for, the universe has said yes to, and it's coming in ways, in magical ways that you could not have possibly have known. So if you really stay with that knowledge and integrate that, and then have that whimsy and that humor and that beautiful lightness of the inner child, then the patience will be a lot easier for you. In the past, you've not always been that patient, which I totally understand. Not all of us are. You know, that's very, very human. But as you're sort of waiting, you won't feel like you're waiting with this new leveling up of this power that's coming in for you. So this is what we have for you, pile 3. We're sending you so much love and light for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Go be you. Do not forget episode 15 of the Unicorn Light podcast, all about manifestations if they're not happening quickly enough for you. If you feel a little bit stagnant or your new beginnings aren't coming in quicker, there's tips and tricks. And of course, it's nothing woo-woo about it. Very, very straightforward, practical advice. Link is down below. Please check out that podcast episode if you are feeling as though that is something that you want to do. And of course, there's many links down below how to stay in this energy of support. There's Witchy Wednesdays on Wednesday with Instagram, and of course check out the website. Lots of soul coaching and other ways to stay in this beautiful energy. Always listen to your intuition. See where you are with it. Your intuition, especially you, will never let you go off in the wrong direction. So trust that, and we'll see you soon. Pile 3. Take care until we meet again. Bye bye.